The last one?
Last one. Boom.
All right. Definitely feeling all of them. So definitely the last one.
Woo! Oh, we're just warming up. Let's get going. Ready for the rumble. Let's get going.
My African geography is garbage.
5 years later.
Yeah, sorry.
Why are we talking about politics?
Anyways.
All right.
Alrighty. We are back.
I got some wood.
Hey, we got Rick with some wood. We got Ryan.
Half torqued.
Are you wearing the same shirt as last time?
Yeah.
He's turgid.
Okay.
I like this shirt.
Yeah, I see you like to wear it a lot. And then you got me, and we are alcohol content.
This is American.
It's pushing it.
It's red, white, and blue.
If that's American,
It's pushing
then
it.
Austin is overthrowing Juan Batista in Cuba with Fidel Castro.
Yeah.
Look at that, what he's got going
Yeah.
on. He just needs a cap with like a red star on it. And it's Che
Sign
Guevara.
me up.
Che Guevara.
Revolution.
I love it. Woo!
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Austin.
Yeah, he's too
And
white.
The revolution we're having today is
A hot
Stellum.
take. Yeah.
Drop that baby on the table.
Stellum Bourbon.
So
Yeah.
I know nothing about this. I bought this because they told me to. So take it away.
Stellum,
Stellum Bourbon.
created by
Barrel.
Barrel,
Yeah.
which is a bottler,
Okay, so they're a bunch of mixers.
not a distiller.
But they are very, very, very good mixologists.
Yeah.
and barreler. They're a barreler.
Okay,
They
okay, I
age
gotcha.
shit.
Yeah, they do.
And then bottle
Yes,
it.
yes. So
And-
Stellum, this is 114.98 proof, and it is
up there.
it's bourbons from Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. So again, I'll say that again: bourbons from Indiana.
So MGP.
So MGP is going to be the Indiana
Okay.
part of it, Kentucky and Tennessee, and so it's barrel and barrel. So here's what Barrel's trying to do with Stellum, and they have a rye also, and an upgrade of the bourbon and the rye. What they're trying to do is give consistency. So this doesn't cost as much as a typical barrel, which is a one-off. Like here's
those
a
are
batch.
pricey.
Yeah.
Here's a batch. Depending on where you live, for us, sometimes they're 120, sometimes 98 or $100. Basically, let's go about 100. But this is about 60 here, 65, and they're trying to go barrels with their Stellum line. Is trying to go with, notice it's simplicity,
Slick, man.
and exactly
Slick.
we are. It's about the product inside, and we are a new age bourbon. And they're trying to go with consistency with Stellum versus the one batches of Barrel or whatever. So this is their bourbon.
When I was in the liquor store, I was getting a kind of a wine vibe from the barrel or from the bottle and the label and everything.
Yeah.
It seems to want to stand apart. So I see where they're
Yeah.
going with that.
And the barrel products, because they have a shitload
Yes.
of different barrel bottles. And they're all unique in some way. They like to do really weird things. Like these were aged in apricot brandy barrels. These were aged in whatever the fuck.
some
pear
of it's
brandy.
some of it's really good, but
Yeah, some of it is very good. Some of it is. It makes it harder when they're $100
Yeah.
plus for a bottle. It has to be really good for that. But
So-
this is 60, 65.
Right
in
off the
this
bat,
market.
this is graham cracker. And you're not going to convince me any other way.
No, I don't disagree with you.
I disagree.
Really?
Really,
No way.
I do not get graham cracker.
This is like
What do you
name
get?
brand Golden Graham cracker.
what do you get?
He gets graham cracker.
no.
Hot dog?
Yeah,
No.
we have a lot
Inner
of
tubing on a lake.
Yeah, our flavor circle is very interesting.
Yeah. Well, if you give me a minute.
I just am waiting to shut you down.
No, I don't get the graham cracker. I don't get that sort of breadiness to it. I think the alcohol cuts through it too much for that. There's like a fight between kind of the deeper caramel and something brighter.
There's something bright in here. Not often does proof like get in the way for me. but
It's there.
the proof is sort of getting in the
I
way
think the
for
proof
me.
is that brighter.
Yes,
for sure.
100%.
But when I'm getting I don't know why, because Rick, I normally agree with you. I have a little bit of trouble with the proof sometimes, but I am cutting through, and it is graham cracker.
Yeah, not even a little bit for me.
Wow.
I'm getting some graham cracker, but I'm also getting many different sort of spice. It's spicy, which I think that might be the MGP stuff.
Get a hint of mothballs.
A little bit of.
Are you being serious?
No, I do get honestly a little bit of kind of that clay Play-Doh.
There's a very slight touch of that for me.
Not as much as like Old Tub.
No,
Yeah.
no.
but it,
Forever
That's-
to be known as Play-Doh Old
Yeah.
Tub, which I had some of that the other day, by the way, and it is fantastic.
it
It actually
it
did
is
very
good.
well.
It is
I
good.
think it did better than when we tried it for me. I was like, wow, this is good.
Well, because it does really well, but then you put it up against like in our finals.
Right,
In our
it made it all the way to the finals.
But by itself, and it was like, this is good. So I'm getting a little bit of not vanilla bean, not real vanilla. I'm getting a little bit of like vanilla flavoring.
Did you taste it yet?
No, I haven't tasted
No,
it.
I
yet.
haven't tasted it. I am
I'm trying to
honestly
Taste obliterates the smell.
okay. Well, maybe I better get to it.
Completely obliterates it.
Ah.
There's your second stroke of the evening.
Yeah. Wow. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Is this not
Oh.
luscious yet bright, intense, long lasting?
Talk about balanced.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's
And
still
it ends on a fruit, like a sweet fruit
It's,
note.
I'm still. I drank it 30 seconds ago. I'm still tasting. There's this long, really rich finish.
Yeah.
I'm getting all kinds of spices. I'm getting fennel. I'm getting even a little licorice.
Yeah.
I'm getting apricot. I'm getting all kinds of stuff going on.
Apricot for sure. Ooh.
Wow.
Man, especially with that proof. The proof hits, but it is balanced.
There's like a little bit like how it kind of turns into like a fruit pie.
I'm getting kind of a jam at the end, like a light aftertaste of a jam. I don't know. It's not raspberry. It might be raspberry.
There's a little raspberry in there. I'm getting a little
strawberry's
raspberry.
a little bit too like
but
sweet.
I'm getting a little, and then
distinct.
but the aftertaste. There's a little fresh fruit like a raspberry, but also with a little caramel or honey and caramel drizzled on it or
Makes
something.
me think of dark chocolate mixed with like crispy raspberry, like those bars that have like the fry or
Little chunks of
the freeze dried raspberry. Not super heavy chocolate notes though. It's just
No,
what's
no.
it's reminding me of that. This is good.
It's
tell
got
me
a,
this is not
Yeah,
insane.
this is
it's
good.
got a Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee hug. I mean, it definitely has a. Like again, I'm not usually bothered by proof, and I'm not bothered by proof, but this is proofy.
Oh yeah,
Whew.
this is my jam.
But there's some good
Dude.
stuff going on. There's some complex stuff going on there. They are master blenders.
Better than masturbators.
It's true. They save that for the blending. Oh.
Oh no!
Yep, you getting it?
Jeez,
I mean, they do mix a batch.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. I'm not tasting batter.
Well, look at the legs on that one. Wow, look at that.
Would you look at that? I mean,
Do you not taste
this
the
is
proof on it?
amazing. Yeah,
You
yes,
taste the proof on it?
of course. But it's a good thing. It's wonderful throughout. At no point do I mean, this is 115 proof essentially.
114.98.
At no point do I think that the proof is anything but integrated into
It doesn't
the entire
spike.
experience.
The proof like comes up and it just kind of pushes its way through your palate, and it's like a wave. It just brings everything else with it. It doesn't like It's not like, oh, the proof. Oh, it tastes good. It's like it is like you said. It's integrated. It's balanced. This is an experience in its balance. It just slowly takes you through your palate.
What I feel like is they made a really rich, sweet whiskey and then saw what proof they could get it to just completely make that richness okay.
Yeah. Which
and elevated.
I mean, and thinking of that, like recently, what have we tried? Like, think of the Weller 107 Antique. That has a problem with the proof. It just doesn't match up. Even though it's a higher proof, 107, it was too rich at the end of
balance
the day.
isn't there.
The balance didn't stick through the whole palate.
No, this is complex. There's a lot going on. I am definitely. It'd be very curious to know the percentage mix of the Indiana, because I'm thinking this is bulk Indiana. I don't taste Tennessee. I don't taste that Dickel minerally note. There's maybe a tad, but I have to invent that in my mind. This is MGP. I'm tasting. There's some richness there, but I'm tasting spices. All kinds of spices going on, just popping off. It's fireworks show. It's a fireworks show.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because half of me says, why are you not transparent with the blend? And maybe because it's like, this is proprietary blend, and that's great. It is, they are barreling it. They're doing their own thing. But for me, it's like, you have something so nice and wonderful. Like, give us why. Like, tell us where it's coming from and what you're doing with it. Like, that's what I have trouble with, the blending. I would prefer if they distilled it. That's my ultimate. If you distill it, then, then we're talking.
But can you distill something in one location and get this product?
And then they don't do their percentages because you can't do that, and you can only make this by this blend that they've created. So I understand it from a business perspective. It's just from a consumer perspective.
Well, I do. I totally agree with you. I love transparency. However, I will say this: it's sort of, isn't it? It's amazing with tasting this, liquors and stuff. It's what your taste buds are that day, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I'll tell you what. Compared to $100 barrel, I've had some really good barrel. I mean, this is Barrel also, the parent company. But I've had some really good barrel, and I've had some did I just pay $115 for this? Really? And I'm eating an apricot? How about I just eat an apricot from a farmer's market, right? I'm going to say overall, not that I will stop buying some barrel unique one-offs, but this, I think they've achieved what they were set out to do, to develop consistency and a unique profile, and the price point, $60, $65 or whatever. It's complex, and there's a lot going on. So compared to barrel, I'd say this is a huge value.
Yeah. And not only that, they also have I believe it's their single barrel, right? And then they also have their rye.
Stellum has a rye, yes. And then for bourbon and rye, they have an upgrade, the black label of each of these.
Okay, so I think I might have been looking at the Total Wine Select version of this.
There are barrel picks.
Okay, then I was a little bit confused. Yeah.
I've had rants about that.
I had the choice, and I got this one.
3/4,
Get the regular
almost at the end. I mean, I'm getting all kinds of stuff, but then I'm getting the graham cracker here now,
dude. Oh man!
But there's all kinds of stuff going on. It's a fireworks show. I can't believe you haven't said the word experience yet, because this is an experience.
I was saying that the balance is it somehow gives you an experience through the balance. This is like the Force. It's like the Force is perfectly balanced.
This is the Force.
Hats off to them. They blended it to be perfect. This is a perfect, in my opinion, I would say this is perfect. You pay for it. But man, this is an experience that is
thumbs up.
Absolutely.
So now guess what? Ryan's pulling it down. It's 0.02 proof different than Old Forester 1920. So guess what?
Is it better?
Guess what? Price point's about the same.
Almost the exact same proof. Almost the exact same price.
But
does it
but
stack
before
up?
we taste 1920, Stellum, thumbs up
100%.
for sure.
So,
yeah.
I paid 63, I think, for
Yep.
this, something like that.
Yep. In this
And
market,
I did it off of you guys saying, "Hey, Stellum," and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna get one for the podcast."
did it live up?
Oh yeah, I did not want to open it before. I was like, "We're gonna open it on podcast." I'm so glad that we did because that is a great bottle, and I want to share that with people. I will go.
You're really good at that, Austin. Like where you haven't had something and then share it or whatever, and it's like your unique first take experience or whatever. That's
because
awesome.
I haven't had them all. I've had some of the famous, or not like super famous ones, but I've had the basics, right?
Yeah.
And so going and expanding onto these unique bottles is fun because it's just like, whoa, let's open my mind, and then hopefully we can show someone else that's like, let's step outside of out of the $20 range that you're buying. Every once in a while, treat yourself. It's good to like learn more about bourbon and to find your own palate. That's why we do this podcast.
Well, and we probably should have saved this for a unique individual podcast, but what the heck? It was up there. Let's pull it down. Almost exact same price in this
Bonus
market.
content. Yes.
0.02 different proof wise.
Interesting.
So head to head.
Like almost like a little similarity on the nose, but
Yeah.
I'm getting a little bit more of
Wow.
kind of I use the word shoe polish, and I don't know how else to describe it because that's going to come off as bad. It's a little bit more funky on the Old Forester compared to the Stellum. The Stellum to me seems clean. There really isn't anything that's like a spiky, like weird
Yeah.
note. The Old Forester, this seems like an old man, like strong and stringy, but he has some edge. The Stellum is like new and sexy.
Well, then Stellum's pulled it off because that's what they're trying for.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think they really did.
See, I think the proof of the 1920 Old Forester, the proof itself gives the profile different aspects to it. It makes it brighter. It has different fruit components. It makes it a new experience. Whereas I think the Stellum's proof is literally just there to be a backbone for the rest of the bourbon.
That's an interesting take. I
I
like that.
don't think the alcohol in the Stellum necessarily adds a new component to the whiskey, but it allows the rest of it to shine. Whereas the Old Forester gets to have that alcohol be its own thing and like kind of throw in its own components because of the proof.
Yeah. Have you guys tasted the 1920 yet?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a fruit that I want you to try and pin down.
Any day now.
I'm going to say,
5 years later.
yeah, sorry. Well, I'm going to say, honestly, I'm picking up a little plum or apricot on this one, too.
It's almost apricot,
Yeah, apricot.
but it kind of veers away from like the bitterness of an apricot.
No, exactly.
Actually, I think,
It seems more acidic.
but the plum is kind of a good, like almost a not ripe
A
plum.
red plum.
Yeah, not completely ripe plum. Yeah, I would agree. So this is very interesting to me because I've gone on record before saying that the 1910 and the 1920 Old Forester Brown Forman products are my standard bearers at $50, $55, $60, whatever, in whatever it is in your market. Like I always compare stuff. And I have to say, Stellum, these are almost same proof, almost same price in our market. Different experiences. I'm not going to not have a 115, 1920
Yeah.
on my shelf. This is almost a little bit more unique experience. But I do taste the proof more on the Stellum than I do on the old man here on the 1920.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
I
I
do
taste the
disagree.
proof way more on the
Really?
Old
But-
Forester.
So
But it's a good thing. It's not like
Yeah.
it's overproof.
This is richer, less notey, and less going on when you compare it to this. This is a fireworks show.
I almost disagree completely.
Really?
I think this is more vibrant and like popping off, and the Stellum is more compact. And I mean, it's bold and it's in your face, but it's more tight in its construction, and the proof just allows it to go as far as it can.
So
This has less notes in it than this does, which is weird because I'm horrible at music.
Maybe.
This has more notes going on.
I don't know if I agree with that either, though.
Okay.
I think
well,
this has. I think this has more intense notes to it. This might have more notes though, or more of a contrast of notes.
So, I, as we found, have been a bit of a. I enjoy higher proof. I'm really liking the Old Forester right now.
Excellent.
I like the Stellum. But if we're talking my palate, I think the 1912 or 1920 is fitting more for me. Like I like to kind of like, I like to feel that, and yeah, definitely am going to try the Stellum again. I like to feel the proof, and I'm feeling the 1920. The 1920 has a lot of what the Stellum offers. It's spiky.
Thank you.
It's unique. It has edge. It has character. The Stellum, like I was saying earlier, is sleek and slim and catered. It tastes like
Good.
it's catered.
No, I like that.
And tip of the hat to them for doing that. Each has its place.
Wow. This is a lesson to me again, no matter how many times I've done this, of when you taste what and stuff like that. So now the Stellum, the proof's not getting in the way for me. I'm picking up
Stellum's good.
picking up on.
I'm even getting wood in the Stellum now. These
Well,
are really going
let
head
me-
to head.
Let me
I
just
like this.
throw this out there.
Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
The 1920 is like sort of the end all be all $60 whiskey. Like if you can beat this, you've done really well.
Yeah.
The Stellum is giving it a run for its money
sure.
Oh, yeah.
at
For
the
sure.
price point.
For
Yes.
sure.
So automatically, it is a phenomenal bottle.
Yes.
I don't disagree with that.
Whether or not
assessment.
you like one or the other,
I would agree.
personal preference, depends on the day, depends on what else you've had, whatever. But
Yeah.
both of those are phenomenal. And if you like the 1920, you have to have a Stellum.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah. The fact that you brought that down, there's a reason. So if you're familiar with the 1920, you may want to be like, I'll give the Stellum a try because it is. I mean, they are going head to head. It's for me tasting the Stellum. It's like it's swapping back and forth.
This is Bruce Lee versus Chuck Norris.
Yeah, and you're going against two different types of mentalities, right? You have your mixers, your bottler, or your
Mixologists, the
Blenders
blenders.
and-
your blenders, your barrelers versus your actual distillers, and then barreling, and the Stellum is making a name for itself, and I think that maybe the people who blend whiskey might have a bad rap. I might have a bad rap with them because I like people who distill more. It just makes more sense because you're more in touch with your product.
Sure.
But for me, Stellum is really increasing the
Well, and yeah, no,
value of
it.
and,
The
and
value.
go-
You
and
can do
bouncing
that.
back and forth. The Stellum now isn't quite the fireworks show. It's got some more traditional flavors coming through to me. Not that that's a good or bad thing. I'm just going. This is. I'm glad we pulled the 1920 down because I'm telling you, until you go sort of back to back, just the fact that the Stellum, we're having this discussion, that tells you something.
It's already worth it.
Yeah,
It's already worth
that
it.
tells you something. Because this sort of a king for price point, proof point, all that type of stuff. The 1920.
Yeah.
And the Stellum different, but can hold its own and punch back, counter punch, and it's counter punching.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
interesting. I love this.
that was a great recommendation.
I don't think I could pick a favorite out of those two.
It's hard. It goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because the slight differences between them are both appealing.
Yeah, it's like, well, I like the proof of this. Well, it's like, well, I like the balance of this.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
For me, it's easy. This is 115. This is only 114.98. This is that sucks. That just sucks. You get out of here, Stella.
Yeah, you got Rick, your proof hound over here.
That 0.02% alcohol
Yeah.
really.
Oh, that I could taste
or
it. That's the difference.
0.01%
Yeah.
alcohol.
So it's an acquired taste, and
That's-
so once you can actually mix that percentage of alcohol in, it just like really
Yeah.
elevates your whiskey above all the competition.
This is an old established team.
Old
And
Forester.
this is a newbie on the block.
Yeah.
We're gonna pass instead of run.
But the fact that
Okay, boomer.
the fact that this is a newer distillery, not a distillery, newer company, and they do make absurdly expensive shit, but this is not. This is the same price.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's respect. I
now-
respect that.
It does make you want to taste their super expensive shit.
The barrel.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to do some on barrel
Yeah,
because we
'cause
definitely
it's
have
like-
some.
If this is your blends, I want to taste your like what you think is your best blends, right? Like what you're offering.
Right. The
for
problem with
highest
that
price.
is it's one-offs, and it's always changing and things like that. I mean, they do a great job. So if you find something you really like, you can go.
Seems
for
like
it.
they're doing something more consistent.
No, that's the whole point with Stellum. Number one, the price point.
Yeah.
Price point, market point comes down considerably. But the whole idea is that it's not a one-off. It's going to be consistency.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going for here. But yet, I'll just read you their marketing. Stellum Spirits is driven by progress, critical thinking, and above
like a
all,
resume.
attention to detail. We're devoted to bringing American whiskey into the modern age with simple, elegant blends and single barrels selected with care and intention. So there you go. That sort of echoes some of what you were saying. This is the new kid on the block. Brown Foreman's Old Forester.
Yeah.
It's been around, and they both. The
Old kid on
fact
the
fact that this is still standing here, the Stellum, tells you something. Price
Yeah.
point, proof point. If I had to if somebody put a gun to my head, I'd say this. But on certain days, I'd definitely say this. The
All right.
Stellum.
Boom.
Well, there you have it.
Buy them both.
Yeah, there you go.
By all means, if you got the money, buy either one of them or both because they are fantastic. And also, just like this video, which is fantastic, go ahead and like the video because you're fantastic. And subscribe for some fantastic content because you love us because we are so fantastic. How many times do I need to say this? I'll say it again.
Fantastic.
Go ahead and put your fantastic comments
Done it.
in the video, which is fantastic. And then we will go ahead and talk
Head
to
to
you
head.
because, it's the internet. We can talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Let us know. Have you had Stellum? Have you had Old Forester 1920? Have you had Stellum Rye? Because I want to try that now. That is for sure.
None of us have had that.
Yeah, we need to get the rye. We need to try it, and we're going to do an episode on it. If you have any other recommendations, let us know. We will go get the bottle. We'll try it. And outside of that, I think that's it. We're done here.
Cheers.
We're cheers. We're cheersing. Cheers.